Hi, everyone. We'll be getting started shortly. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A in the bottom right corner. All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the CFM and Math CPA program Huddle. Hope you've had an amazing time with the orientation events so far, and you're excited for classes to start to begin next week. My name's Alex. I'm in fourth year Math CPA, and my walkout song is Likey by Twice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carl. It's a pleasure to be here today. Very, very excited to share a couple of our own experiences with all of you. My name is Carl, and I, what is my walkout song? I enjoy all kinds of music, so yeah, doesn't really matter for me. So, Alex, should we get started?
That sounds, yep, let's get started. So let's just describe our programs for a little bit. I hope you all know, I hope you all know a little bit about your program. So my program is Math CPA, so it's a mix of math and accounting. So if you know of the accounting and financial management program that we have at Waterloo, it's sort of like that, except you kind of remove a bit of the finance and you add a couple of math courses. It is a CPA accredited program, which means that you take after you finish your 4 years of undergrad and you do your co-op terms, you could go straight into the CPA prep modules and then write the common final exam for the CPA, or you could alternatively do the accounting program at Waterloo and go straight into the common final exam for CPA. So our Mass CPA is pretty much a CPA prep program, as some people would say. Carl?
Wow. Yeah. So for us, similarly, we're in two faculties. So we're in the Faculty of Mathematics as well as the Faculty of Arts. So in the School of Computer Science, David R. Cheriton School of Computer Science in the math side, and in the School of Accounting and Finance on the arts side. So the CFM is like really an interdisciplinary double major kind of program where you get your knowledge and you get your experience in the computer science side, as well as you get experience in more of the finance um, aspect as well. Similarly to Math CPA, we do take two first-year accounting courses, AFM 101 and AFM 102. And then further on in second year and above, there's a lot more emphasis, a lot more focus towards the mathematical kind of like perspective on finance. So yeah, and then on the CS side, we basically have the same courses as a CS major, but we miss out on two of them, which is CS 251 and CS 350. You can still take them as a CFM student, like no worries about that, but they're just not built into the recommended course sequence for a CFM student. Um, Other than that, in terms of co-op placements and in terms of career prospects, you can really go in anywhere. You can go into the software engineering, computer science industry if you want. I know a lot of students. I have a lot of friends who are in who graduate from CFM and move on into the big name companies, the Apples, the Facebooks, the Googles, Or you can go to the finance side and more of the corporate finance, the corporate financial analyst kind of roles, or investment banking. You can do quantitative finance as well, at like Jane Street, Citadel, Two Sigma. But the floor is yours. You can really mix and match. You can do whatever you want here in CFM.
All right. So let's get started with a couple questions. If you do have any questions, make sure to use the Q&A box, and we'll make sure to get to them as soon as we can. All right. First question is about Math CPA. So the question asks, how math intensive will a Math CPA be? And will it be more accounting related, math only, or does trigonometry and calculus play a vital role as well? So Math CPA, you'll have, similar to other math programs, you'll have 2 calculus courses in first year. So that'd be Math 137 or 147, and then Math 138 and 148. That's pretty much all the calculus you have to take if you really want to just stop there. If you want to maybe specialize or minor in another math area, for example, I minor in statistics. Some people minor in combinatorics and optimization. You could continue taking on calculus courses. For example, I took Calc 3, which is Math 237. But it's ultimately up to you as to how much you want to go into calc and trig and all of that. But you pretty much just have to do the first 2 calculus courses that every math student has to take. As for math and accounting related, so you do take 19, I would say. It's more like 15 math courses, where we classify math courses as math, statistics, computer science, and those courses count as math courses, and the rest are accounting or finance courses. So if they start with AFM, they're accounting and finance courses, and you take 19 of those. So it's a good mix between the two fields, I guess, with math and accounting. If you want to take more math courses, you can. But if you just want to do the bare minimum and maybe, let's say, focus a bit more on accounting or AFM courses, or maybe you're interested in pursuing the finance specialization that Math CPA has, you could choose to do that. All you have to do is just take a couple more math courses. Usually it's just Calc 3, and then 1 or 2 AXI courses. And then for the AFM side, you have to take 2 or 3 more courses. But you're still taking the exact same amount of courses as if you weren't going for the finance specialization. It's just that you just take away your electives and you replace them with those courses. So I hope that answers your question. If anyone does have any more questions, continue to ask them.
Like similarly, just to add on, Alex, similarly, like on the CFM side, there's not a lot of compared to Math CPA, we kind of have a less kind of focus, less intense on the math side. So basically you have so everyone across the faculty of mathematics, they start with the standard Math 135, Math 136, Math 137, Math 138, and then your choice of 2 CS courses, either CS 115, 135, 145, CS 116, 136, or 146. And then further on from the CFM side, in future years, we only do take 3 more stats courses: Stat 230, Stat 231, or the advanced versions, and then Stats 373, regression models in finance, and then Math 239. So basically, beyond first year, there's not a lot of intensive math as compared to Math CPA. So just there's a lot more focus on the computer science aspect and the finance courses that are offered by AFM.
And just to add on to that, if in Mass CP you say you want to do a couple more finance courses, you could. They're pretty much all open to anyone in the School of Accounting and Finance. So that's what both Mass CP and CFM are part of, as part of the arts faculty. So you could choose. You could choose to take any School of Accounting and Finance course that you want.
For sure, for sure. And similarly, like on our side, if you want to minor in a math discipline, so like if you're looking at minoring in stats, like Alex did, or minoring in combinatorics optimization, minoring in pure mathematics, you can do so. You could take as many other math courses as you want. The choice is yours. You can take linear algebra 2, math 235, calculus 3, and proceed with a stats minor or a CO minor, whatever. It's all up to you. There's a lot of freedom and there's a lot of choice.
All right. So if any of you are interested, kind of what we've been doing as part of being a student at University of Waterloo, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my experiences. So I started in September 2016, so that was 4 years ago. How much time flies! And I got involved with the Mathematics Society. So that's the student society for all math students here at Waterloo. It's sort of like you could think about it as your school council, where you have reps from each year and you pretty much decide on what events you want to hold, any money that's going to be allocated, any sort of advocacy positions that the society should be taking when they go to the faculty and want to express any of their opinions. MassDoc holds a lot of events. So every year we have 3 Pi days, and that's usually a pretty big deal where MassDoc gives out free pies. Obviously, this year I don't believe that's going to be happening with COVID, but when things do get back to normal, hopefully we could go back and get some free pies. I've also been involved with Math Ambassadors. So if you may have seen me in if you've ever attended a Waterloo open house at the Ontario Universities Fair, or maybe in the program brochures that you may have gotten from any of the Waterloo info sessions. I've also been involved with orientation, with being an orientation leader. Carl, do you want to talk about your experiences?
For sure, for sure. So basically, like in terms of like clubs like and extracurriculars, like there's definitely one piece of advice that I received, and it's definitely get involved. The world is your oyster. You make out of what you do right here at Waterloo. So basically, if you decide, oh, I'm not gonna step back and not do anything, then you're really gonna, like, in my opinion, you're gonna miss out on a lot of more of the casual interactions that you get to have with your classmates, and more of the memories that you're gonna make here in your 5 years, 4 years here at Waterloo. So definitely do get involved. Join clubs, join extracurriculars. Some of the kind of extracurriculars that I've been a part of. So I am a Mathematics Society program representative. I was a first year representative in my first year, and now I'm a computing and financial management representative on the Mathematics Society. In terms of other clubs and organizations, I am a faculty of mathematics um, counselor, student counselor for the Waterloo Undergraduate Student Association. So WUSA, basically helping advocate and helping represent all of you guys at WUSA, bringing the voices of math students to a decision-making body. And just I go to the gym. I go to Pack and Sif when Pack and Sif are still open. Frequently playing basketball, swimming, just basically getting involved and just figuring out and finding out that university life is more than just going to classes and you know, all that stuff. Like there's a lot more to just that. And I would highly recommend that all of you do find what is more, what is beyond your classes, that kind of life, that kind of lifestyle, because having that kind of lifestyle, having those kind of memories really does help, you know, motivate you further and really help push you further on in your 5 years here at Waterloo. So definitely do get involved. Right, Alex?
Yep, and that's actually a really good segue because we got a question about if we have enough free time to get involved with extracurriculars. So university, your schedule is up to you. You could pretty much decide whether or not you want to spend your time studying or if you want to spend your time doing something else. Personally, I found I was able to, after a couple rough patches within the first few weeks of first year, I was able to kind of find my groove, find kind of the set schedule that I really want to follow. And then any free time I had, I went and joined MassSoc or joined some other clubs, or I got involved with Math Ambassadors. So you could, or honestly, there's open rec badminton at the physical activities complex. So it's up to you as to whether or not you want to schedule time to do extracurriculars. There is time, but obviously with sometimes exams or assignments, you might have to maybe skip a week or something. But if you find time and plan time for it, there is definitely enough time to get involved. All right.
For sure, for sure. Like just to add on, like I know you know, the transition from high school to university is quite tough. Like a lot of us, like for example, I wasn't unsure of the workload um and all that, and I thought it would just be like, you know, 24/7. But surprisingly, like the professors here, they recommend that you know, take a break after a few hours of studying, go get some exercise, go do a club, go hang out with friends. Like you need to have these like kind of casual breaks in between your studying to really, you know, help you stay on track and keep you focused. If you you know, go 24/7 just studying, like you're gonna burn out eventually. And that's not gonna be very, very good. So just, you know, take a break here and there. You know, go participate in a club, go to a meeting, go try something out. You know, even if you're not sure if you're gonna like that club, you know, go to a meeting, speak with their executives, speak with other members, see if you're gonna like it. Like here in Waterloo, it's all about trying something new and trying something out and taking a break. Like we really need to, you know, you really need to find that balance between, you know, extracurriculars and your academics. So definitely, definitely do get involved.
All right. There was a question on marks matter when applying to your first co-op job, or are personal projects and extracurriculars more important? So this question can be taken two different ways depending on the program. So with Math CPA, our first co-op is in second year after 2A. So that would be for you guys, it would be fall 2021 is when you would be looking, and you would be working in winter 2022. So marks do sort of matter for a Mass CPA, especially if you're maybe planning on joining some of the larger accounting firms. They do request that you submit transcripts. So yeah, marks do kind of matter. But also if you're part of any clubs and if you have any leadership positions, either in the last few years of high school or during university. So let's say maybe you joined MassSoc, or you joined a club, or you got involved somehow. Put that on your resume. It does look good because it shows that you're getting involved, and that may help you with getting a co-op. The first co-op job search is tough because you are competing with a lot of other people, and they all have experience with it. But if you do have strong marks and if you practice, you it 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 it's possible to get a job. And there are a lot of tools and workshops that Waterloo holds for maybe resume critiques or mock interviews. You could choose to use those, or maybe get a friend to maybe help you and quiz you. You could use all of these Waterloo resources to help you during your first job search. As for personal projects, I would assume that would be related to CFM. So Carl, if you want to go off about your first job search, or maybe some advice that you would have.
Yeah, for sure. So the student that asked the question, could you please just confirm in the chat if you're like talking about like computer science personal projects or projects in general, and if you are in CFM,
They're in
perhaps can you
CFM.
please confirm that?
They're in CFM.
Okay, sounds good. So, yeah, for personal projects, if you're talking more about like computer science related projects, so like projects that you do when going to a hackathon or um, you know, basically like more tech related, um, employers do really try to see like how you can apply your skills to a real life project. So it's quite important um because like for a lot of first year students they might not have a lot of relevant work experience in the tech industry, for example. So employers really want to see like how can this particular student apply their skills to a real life personal project. So that's pretty important to have some personal projects to show like I can not only learn about like Python or Java, for example, but I can use Python and Java to create this game, for example, or to create this piece of software, something like that. So that's it's quite important, especially for the first couple of co-ops, the beginning couple of co-ops. As in terms of marks, there are certain companies that do have cutoff for marks, but it's also relatively um, like when you move on to your fourth, fifth, sixth co-op marks, that importance is a lot lower compared to your first, second co-ops. But definitely like do focus on your marks as well, especially for the first, second co-ops. You don't have a lot of relevant work experience. For example, a lot of first year students they don't have a lot of relevant work experience. So marks also show like how well you can comprehend and how well you can perform in a certain course or a certain type of um, you know application skills, for example. So marks do matter, but later on they won't matter as much. And then extracurriculars definitely do get involved. They want to see how you interact in a social setting, like more of your social, more of your soft skills. Like if you're an executive for a club, you can see how you're interacting with other students and interacting with I don't know, like your peers, your classmates. So it also gives them a better understanding of your soft and personal skills. So definitely they do matter, but later on they only matter to a certain extent. But for the earlier co-ops, they do matter quite a bit in my opinion.
All right. So let's jump to a question about math CPAs. So there's a question on whether or not math CPAs can have a double major. This double majors in math CPA are hard. The reason, and I do say hard because if you've done a little bit of research about the program, you'll know that you have to take 42 courses. The usual four-year structure for undergrad is 40 courses. So that means that you will have to take 6 courses during one term. Usually it's your second term at university, so in 1B. So it's hard. You can choose to do a double major if you have the marks for it, meaning that if you have to usually have an 80 average to take 6 courses. The exception being for math PAs in 1B, where you only need a 70 average, just because of the whole 42, 41 courses sort of deal. But if you have the marks to kind of overload your courses, you can do a double major. However, if you just want to do a double major, but you don't have kind of the room to do 6 courses, you will most likely not be able to, because the program is extremely structured. Basically, you will probably be getting an email from the program advisor, Peter Balka, about a sequence summary of exactly when to take each and every course. And if you deviate from that, you pretty much kind of mess up your graduation schedule, unless you're able to quickly spot it and fix it. So I guess the ultimate answer is it depends, but also I would not recommend it unless you have the marks for it and you are willing to go down that route.
Yeah, so just to add on, as in terms of like CFM, like you're already kind of in a double major for like computer science and financial management finance. So like you are able to get like minors as previously mentioned, like a minor in stats, a minor in combinatorics optimization, minor in pure mathematics. Because like same like similarly with like math CPA, like CFM is a pretty structured program. There are certain courses where they're only offered in certain terms. Like for example, AFM 272 is only offered in the fall term, something like that. So basically there will be a recommended course sequence that you could follow to ensure that you meet all of your requirements and that you can graduate on time. But it's relatively easy. I know a couple of upper year students who've added on a minor, but other than that, like it's kind of flexible in terms of like adding minors, but there's also certain courses where you must take because they're only offered during certain terms.
Yep. And with math CPA, again, you could take, you do have 6 electives, 6 math electives. So most people do a math, most people, if they are doing a minor, will be doing a math minor. Yeah. All right. Next question. How was finding your first co-op? Those were some good memories that I've had 3 years ago now. So first co-op was challenging for me. Mainly because I didn't do that well in first year. I had a 56 on my transcript, and when employers looked at that, they probably were not very happy with it and kind of passed on my application. If anyone was wondering, that I got a 56 in Math 135, and the reason why is because I did not put enough time into studying. Not to scare you, but remember to review your notes. But it was challenging. I had to deal with Waterloo Works for the first time. I was doing a full course load. Well, everyone does usually a full course load when they're looking for a co-op. You were doing interviews at the same time as your lectures. So I would sometimes have to miss a couple classes to go to an interview. For me, I wasn't able to get an interview. No, I wasn't able to get a job in the first round of co-op matches. So Waterloo has first round and then continuous. So main round and continuous. I wasn't able to get a job in main round, so I went into continuous round. Luckily, I was able to get a job in continuous at a mid-sized accounting firm. I joined there, and then from there, I was pretty much. I decided I didn't want to go anywhere or switch companies, so I just stuck with that accounting firm ever since. And I'm actually going to that accounting firm for my full time. But first co-op was interesting. It's challenging, definitely. Some people say that first co-op job search feels like you're taking on an additional course. I would agree with that because it is tiring, but it is rewarding once you do get your match and you get an offer. Carl, if you want to talk about your experience.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So definitely first co-op is gonna be difficult if you don't have any previous relevant work experience in the industry. But definitely like Waterloo, the Faculty of Mathematics, the program manager. So the program manager for CFM is Heather. There's a lot of support from them to help, critique resumes, to practicing interviews, to writing cover letters. And there's also a lot of support from upper year students as well. So there's definitely a lot of support, and you also have 50 applications. So definitely, apply to a few um, reach jobs, so jobs that you would absolutely want to work for, but you may feel like they would be quite perhaps like out of your reach at that moment. You can apply to a few of those, apply to a few, um, jobs that you would be more than happy to work at, and apply to a few that, like as backup jobs just in case, but you would still be more than happy to work at as well. Um, Definitely, like it's gonna be quite challenging, but you have 50 applications in the first round, the main round, and you have another 300 applications in the continuous round, and with the support of them, of these different parties, as well as Waterloo has like a PD course, professional development course that helps you really like write your resume and just basically guides you through the job search, the term that you are searching for a co-op. So with these supports, like definitely like utilize them, and it should definitely help you find that first co-op job.
And another good question would be, how related are your degrees usually related to your first co-op job or maybe any subsequent co-op jobs? I would say for Mass CPA and CFM, you're most likely going to be finding a job in that area. So most Mass CPAs, I would say all Mass CPAs, usually do find jobs either in business, accounting, or finance. CFM, I would say probably either finance or doing probably some sort of computer programming job or a software engineering job. Carl, if you want to confirm that.
Yeah, for sure. So in CFM's Mass CPA, like it's um, pretty relevant to your degree because of the specialized skills and specialized classes that we take relatively early on. Um, so yes, like in the CPA side, most likely accounting, auditing, tax. For the CFM side, yeah, as Alex said, most likely the finance, computer science, the tech side, software engineering jobs. So pretty relevant to what you're learning and pretty relevant to your degree.
All right. Um,
Yeah.
so, um,
Sorry.
so
Go
in,
ahead.
let's see, on Tuesday, so on September the 8th, Learn will load up with all of your courses for first year. So both Math CP and CFM are going to be enrolled in Math 135 or 145, 136 or 146. Oh, sorry, no, Math 135 or 145, Math 137 or 147, CS, so either 115 or 135, AFM 101, and AF, and I do not believe CFM has AFM 132, but MassCB does have AFM 132. So you'll be enrolled in all those courses, and most likely either you've already gotten an email from your professors about the course, or you will be getting one on Tuesday once courses begin. And the most important thing that I would say is open up that course page on Learn, or if it's on Microsoft Teams, look at the syllabus. So the syllabus will tell you exactly what the course is going to be teaching you, and the mark breakdowns and possibly a course schedule. I highly recommend that you do schedule or block off times in either a calendar or I guess in your head about when you want to be studying for those courses, because it is extremely important, especially in first year, that you get into the, I guess, university mindset and start studying. And don't procrastinate, because it will come back to you and you will most likely regret procrastinating, especially in first year, because it is a lot of information all at once. It's pretty much a lesson. Every single lecture is a new topic, almost always. So it's important that you have everything scheduled and you're making detailed notes, and that you're kind of planning ahead, because your future you will thank you, and your professional you in a couple of years will also thank you for doing that.
Definitely. Procrastination is a big topic, and definitely as Alex said, use Notion, right? Like, or Google Calendar, or you can always go to the old-fashioned notebook and pen to make your schedule, to make your notes, that when things are due, because especially like later on in October, November, when midterms are literally like every other day and assignments are due every day, you're gonna like be overwhelmed, and you might forget a couple of deadlines, and those deadlines may hurt you a lot in your future mark. So definitely, like, be organized, stay on track, stay on top of things, stay on track, and don't procrastinate. And like, add on for math CPA, as Alex said, like, your courses would be on there. For CFM, CFM does AFM 32. So some of the courses that you'll see for sure online would be AFM 101, AFM 132, and then your choice of either Math 135, 145, 137, 147, or CS 115, 135, or 145. So really similar, like basically all 5 courses are really similar to Math CPA for your first term. Just depending on some variations, you might take the advanced courses or not. But it's really similar to Math CPA. And yeah, definitely, like, stay on track, stay on top of things, and definitely, like, you know, if you're overwhelmed, take a breather, take a moment, collect yourself, and focus back. Like, definitely don't procrastinate. Don't, like, wait on things. Like, let's say, like, you have a midterm a week from now. Don't say, oh, I'm gonna study a day before that. Like, that's not gonna help. Like, overwhelming the day before that, a day before your midterm, is not gonna, like, really help. You're not gonna retain a lot of information. Start preparing a week in advance. Break down studying. Like, for example, I'm gonna do chapter 1 today. I'm gonna do the practice problems for chapter 1 tomorrow, and then do chapter 2 2 days from now. Practice problems, so on, so on. So definitely stay on track. Like, Alex has made it through 4 years here at Waterloo, so you know he has a lot of experience on not procrastinating and staying on track, right, Alex?
I am not going to lie. In first year, I left my Math 135 assignments in to the very last minute. So, like, when I mean the night before, I literally mean the night before, where I would be up until 3 a.m. the day it was due. So it would be due at 8:25, and I'd be up at 3 a.m. doing the assignment. I regret it. So don't do that. That's probably the reason why my marks were pretty bad in first year. But yeah, stay on track. And yeah, Math CPA and CFM are pretty much, they're very similar programs in first and second year. You deviate very slightly when you talk about maybe Math CPA does a bit more accounting. CFM does 1 or 2 additional finance courses, but it's pretty much the exact same program until, I would say, second year. So in your 2A, 2B terms. So you do make a lot of friends either in both programs. So I do have a lot of CFM friends. My CFM friends do know a lot of people in Mass CPA. We do share a lot of the courses, sometimes in 3rd and 4th year as well. So reach out and, I guess, talk to other people.
For sure. I know in 1B terms, like 1A, your term is relatively similar, basically the same, depending on if you choose to do the advanced courses or not. And 1B, um, instead, we do like CFM does AFM 121, Global Financial Markets. I'm not sure if Math CPA does it. I'm pretty sure
We do
Math
not.
CPA.
No.
Okay. Math
Yeah.
CPA does Econ 100
Yep.
in 1B.
Yep. So Econ
Yes.
100 is it's a combination of Econ 101 and 102 because a couple of years ago they did decide that Mass CPA had it too hard when it came to doing 43 courses instead of 42. So they decided to combine Econ 101, 102, throw a little bit of calculus in there, and they made that course. So I guess Mass CPA is the only program that is allowed to take the course. So it is where we are, I guess, special, but also it's an interesting course. All right.
For sure.
So I guess let's talk about the maybe sort of our programs and I guess again with our experiences. So with Mass CPA, it is a tiny program compared to I guess all the main math programs where Mass CPA has maybe 50, 60 people. Other programs have 100, 200, 400 possibly. So there is sort of the tight knitness of and the closeness that Mass CPA has with the program, where there is some sort of informal mentorship structure kind of built in, where if let's say there is a first year Mass CPA that might need some help on something, maybe with resumes or if they just want to talk, most upper year Mass CPAs are open to just getting a message either on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, if you've already connected with them. And we're all pretty much happy and we're willing to help everyone out because we've all been there, especially for Mass CPA where 1B is a very tough term. So there is a little informal mentorship structure that's kind of that Mass CPA has, and that's also one of the reasons why I love the program. It's because of that closeness that I have with everyone else in the program, where I actually do know everyone's name in the program in my year, and usually in 1 year above me and 1 year below me. CFM, I do believe that little mentorship structure or that closeness also does exist, especially because of the CFM events. If you want to talk about that, Carl.
Yeah, for sure. So throughout your first year, like you actually do get assigned an upper year CFM mentor. That basically just like shows you the ropes of Waterloo, helps you train, organizes some events for all of you. And I'm actually a CFM mentor for the 2020-2021 school year. So you'll probably see more of me later on in the future for events, CFM events. But definitely the community is really, really tight compared to other programs. We also have a relatively small program. Normal years we have about a 45 to 50 uh, person CFM class, so it's relatively small, and you really do get to know basically everyone in your year relatively well. Um, there's definitely a lot of events. This past Wednesday, Heather had CFM fall orientation social for all of the incoming first years. Um, Later on throughout September, October, there's gonna be more events. There's gonna be a midterm de-stress event, and then an end of term event. So definitely come out to these events, meet your classmates. I know everything is online this year, but if you don't put yourself out there, how are you gonna meet your classmates? How are you gonna meet other friends, new friends? Especially for some of you who may not be moving into campus in the fall. Like I feel like friends, people, having that social life, having that social interaction is really what makes CFM CFM. Like you get to meet other friends, you get to meet so many new people, people from all around the world. So definitely do come to these events, especially this semester with everything online, and if you're not moving out to campus, you at least have a chance to build up those interactions with your classmates for the next 5 years. So definitely do come, yeah, check it out. And as well, there's a lot of other events that the Faculty of Mathematics has. Previously, Alex mentioned that there's 3 Pi events that the Math Society has each year. There's a lot of different activities. Just check out Mathematics Society on Facebook. Look at the emails that Heather sends every month for important dates so that you know when the events are. Just do whatever you can to basically get involved and meet your classmates for the next 5 years.
All right. So we're gonna do a very one last call for questions. Honestly, like if you do have like any questions, like it doesn't really have to be related to our programs or maybe our experience. So if you are, I don't know, interested, I don't know. One question I usually like to ask people is, what's your favorite thing on the McDonald's value menu? Mine is usually the junior chicken. So if you do have any of those questions, feel free to ask them. With Math CPA, I do want to add, if I didn't just lose my train of thought. I did just lose my train of thought. All right, I'll get back to that probably. So you will have, so you're all in teams for Waterloo Math Ready. We do encourage you to share your social media, so your Instagram, possibly your TikTok if you have TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, especially for Math CPA. If you want to share your LinkedIn and kind of build up your connections. Feel free to reach out because it is important to connect with your classmates, especially, oh, there we go, that's my point. With Math CPA in upper years, in your AFM courses, there is a lot of group work. You will want to have most likely a group ready to go if you do have one. I would encourage you to kind of get everything set up so you do have a group if there maybe was a surprise group project that you wanted to and groups aren't assigned. It's important. Most Math CPAs usually stick with other Math CPAs for groups. And also Math CPA has, what do they call them? SAF has crews. So crews are also a part of Math CPA where you are assigned groups in first and second year, and though that is a kind of a portion of your mark. I encourage you to maybe reach out to other people that aren't in your crew. I'll obviously know people in your crew very well. Also reach out to other people in other crews because it will pay off, especially when you're in third and fourth year, where almost every single class does have a group project. There is a question about, do you get assigned crews automatically? If you are in CFM, I don't believe you have crews. If you're in Math CPA, you do have crews. I do believe they are automatic.
Yeah, so definitely do share your social media handles, like the teams, like the Waterloo Ready teams on Microsoft Teams. They close on September 14th. So definitely utilize the couple days before then to share your social media handles, your LinkedIn's. LinkedIn is really, really important in terms of like the finance and the accounting kind of jobs. If you're more looking at that, especially to maintain that professional kind of like composure for connecting at various career fairs and all that. So definitely do that. Share your social medias, and like I'm also a Waterloo Ready Pink captain. So like if you want, like feel free to like DM me on Microsoft Teams if you have any more questions for CFM students. I am a CFM mentor for the 2020-2021 school year. So feel free to like ask me any questions throughout the school year as well. Like we're here to help. Alex is a very friendly guy. He helped me a lot in my first term in university, showed me the ropes and all that. He's a very friendly guy as well. I'm pretty friendly as well. I'm pretty social, outgoing. So just don't hesitate to ask if you need help, if you have questions. That's why we're here. We're here to help. Yeah, and as in terms of CFM crews, unfortunately, we do not have crews as a CFM student. But with a smaller, more intimate, more tight knit community that the CFM class is, there's a lot more chance to build that. There's a lot more opportunities as well to build these connections. So don't worry about that.
No, I don't know if it would be unfortunately or fortunately for CFM to not have crews. But yeah, CFM doesn't have crews, Mass CPA does. All right. So thank you all so much for coming in and joining our little program huddle for Mass CPA and CFM. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all for your questions. Do make sure for on Monday to join the Earn Your Tie event. It's everything again will be on Portal. Earn Your Tie is one of the biggest events for math orientation every single year, so I do recommend you guys attend. Carl, do you have any parting words?
No, just thank you so much for coming to our panel, coming to our session. And yeah, definitely like last year when I was doing the Earn Your Tie, like the math dance, it was really, really fun. Alex, as one of the OT members for orientation last year, can also really relate to earning your tie and fully becoming a member of the math community here at Waterloo. It's a really, really great event, so definitely do come out. Participate in other central orientation activities as well. I know today for central orientation they have a drag show where the UW Drag Club is doing the presentations. Come on out if you want to learn more about that. And as well, definitely check out portal.uw.ca for the latest on your orientation events. Orientation is what you make of it, so definitely take the most out of it. Take what you can out of orientation. It's going to be a really, really great week for all of you. Thanks again.
All right. And if any math CPAs want to connect with me, feel free. Send me a friend request on Facebook or follow me on Instagram or connect with me on LinkedIn. And also the Waterloo orientation pages. All right. Thank you all for coming.